So, Gator, I think the ball's rolling downhill. Ball's rolling downhill, and I don't think it's stopping. I am through Ep 5 of Pluribus.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to, it's only 9 episodes, so I think I'm well on my way to finishing it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm all in, but I'm like 75% in, and it's starting to move quite a bit. So I'm somewhat notorious for starting TV series and pulling the plug quickly. I even do it with movies, and probably quicker than most. Pluribus on Apple TV, I think it got me. So I went through a couple episodes yesterday, and yeah, at this point, now I pulled the plug. I pulled the plug on Walking Dead. What season? Do you remember what season it was?
I think it was season 5 that you gave up on it.
And you kept going.
I did.
Yeah. And you don't feel like I missed out on a whole ton.
I think maybe for another season or 2 you did, but in the end, it no.
Can you tell me what happened with Negan? Or should we do this off the air?
Maybe off the air.
All right.
But I would say this, that I did not, I tried watching some of the newer episodes they've had when they're in New York City. I got through the first season of that and then gave up. And I haven't watched any of the seasons that they have with, what's the other, with the scraggly looking guy?
Oh, Daryl. Didn't Daryl end up in Paris?
Ends up in Paris, yeah. And I haven't watched a single episode.
Kank's shaking his head back there.
Not a single episode.
No, is he trying to find himself or something? Was it a coming-of-age zombie story?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't bite you. They just come at you with a tongue.
Well, anyway, Pluribus, I feel like I'm probably going to finish this. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'd like to see that you're going to finish something.
Yeah. It's not like me. All right, so the Tigers. The arbitration system's weird. You basically draft a guy when he debuts. He's under club control for 6 seasons, meaning you don't lose him to free agency when his first, like he goes his a player who's year to year their contract goes to an arbitrator, and you give an offer and they make an offer, and the arbitrator decides whose offer to take. They don't say, well, we're going to meet in the middle. They either take the player's offer or the club's offer. And once you reach, 6 full seasons in the league or whatever the service time is, because there's some workarounds where it doesn't have to be 6. But once you do that, then you are a true free agent and you can sign with anybody. Most or many valuable players that do a good job and are granted big contracts, they get signed to extensions before they get to free agency. And in the case of Tarik Skubal, I got to tell you, I think the odds of him ever signing with Detroit are basically 0%. I don't get this at all. The Tigers did offer a record to an arbitration eligible pitcher of $19 million.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only $4 million more than they offered Alex Cobb for a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. And Skubal asked for 32, the largest ever ask, and also the largest gap in the history of baseball between what a player asked for and what a team offered.
So Juan Soto got $31 million in arbitration. That's the highest so far to date.
Mm-hmm.
When the Tigers, they offered arbitration to David Price, I believe it was something like $17 million. And that was how many years ago?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this is. I tried to make sense of this. A lowball offer. Either this is the Tigers just being, stupid with this, which I don't think Scott Harris is stupid. So what's another reason that you would just throw an offer like this out there? And maybe it's just that, okay, you see what the number is from their side. Their side's 32. You're throwing 19. You're going to get your number, Tarik. Congratulations, because we made ours so ridiculously low when it comes to a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and all the accolades you've racked up, and because you're a 5th-year player that you should get even more. You're under different circumstances and everything else. We're basically giving you your number, and maybe that's just a deference thing that maybe extends some goodwill towards.
But hold on,
I understand. I know what you're
You
going to say.
don't have to go to arbitration. You could just give them the
I'm trying to make sense of why the Tigers lowballed Tarik Skubal in arbitration, because I don't think it does make sense. And if I'm trying to make any sense of it all, I guess that's it. It's just a, hey, here you go. You got it.
I always talk about results-based communication. When tensions are high and you have a goal from a conversation, I'm probably more talking about with your kids. They're mad, you're mad, but you have a result that you need to get them to. You need to get them to realize something. Getting more mad or punishing them or yelling and screaming or swearing or whatever, it probably doesn't help you get to the result you want. If you're trying to get to an end result, what's the best way to get there? Take all the emotion out of there. If they are this far apart with Skubal now and make this offer, which is borderline insulting, I feel like it's clear that he's not re-signing here. What the most likely thing to me is, it's clear that he is not re-signing here. The Tigers are mad. They give him this lowball offer going into his final year. The best result for the Tigers out of having a stud pitcher with Boris, who, if your take from the Tigers' perspective is there's no way he's signing here, the best result you can hope for is you win the World Series this year with Tarik Skubal. And by giving him a lowball offer, you are not engendering goodwill. You are not getting Tarik Skubal fired up for the same goal. You think people were mad when Skubal wouldn't go out for the 7th in Game 5 in the playoffs? Imagine when he won't go out for the 6th on opening day, because he's got to ride out this year and then get the money cannon contract. Do you think he's going to put everything into it when he's got the money cannon contract at the end of the rainbow and can't afford to get hurt? I can't think of the only other reason that would make sense is something that I don't think anybody thinks they're going to do, which is we're only offering, and we hope to get you at $19 million, because we've earmarked that $10 million in a Bichette contract or a Bregman contract, or that money's going to go towards Kyle Tucker or something like that, which nobody thinks they're going to do that. So it's not like they're going to use the money for anything else, most likely. So what's clear here is Skubal, this is his final year with the Tigers. That locked it up for me that ain't happening. They are not signing him to a long-term contract. And I don't solely blame the Tigers for that, for being there. I actually blame I blame Boris and Skubal more for that. I don't think.
Sure.
I think it's clear that that the goal there is free agency, because they always know, no matter what the Tigers offer, the Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Dodgers can do $1 more. They know that, and I don't blame them for that. That they're looking out for their client. I don't blame the Tigers for the end of the Skubal relationship. I will blame the Tigers for lowballing him here and not doing everything you possibly can to get the best version of Tarik Skubal. Give him his $32 million. Don't even blink, and try and win the World Series this year with a guy that's all in to do so. Okay, this is a parting of the ways. I want to go out on top. You want to go out on top.
Well, does this just stoke the fire that they're still open for business to try to trade him? Because if there's this big canyon-esque gap between the two numbers, do other teams look at it, oh my God, that's all they have? They must not want him. Let's get back involved and try to trade for him.
According to Baseball Insiders, teams are still calling about him, but nobody's going to give the Tigers apparently the Herschel Walker deal in return. Well, and there's one other thing here.
Yeah.
And this matters, and maybe it doesn't, but you give zero Fs about perception when you make this offer, right? You don't care, because the fans who think that ownership or Scott Harris won't spend, this doesn't help.
I don't know what they're doing.
The roster, think about the rest of the roster. Guys who are still under club control, thinking about, am I going to get any money out of this organization when I'm a free agent and when it's my turn to renegotiate? Think about the rest of the league, their perception of the Tigers.
Well, That's part of it, sure. And and the thing is, people aren't going to do deep dives on it. And the realization is that the Tigers know that they're not going to sign him to a long-term deal.
People in the league are going to do deep dives on it. Other players will. Agents will.
I don't know if players are going to go that deep and look at this and say, it might be a different situation altogether. This is the best pitcher in baseball, and the Tigers can't afford to re-sign him. They can't do it. So what's happening here? He's going to get a 1-year deal for $32 million. That's what he's going to get. And then he's going to hit free agent market, and he's going to set the market because that's what Boris wants to in the first place. Does it make the Tigers look bad? I think it does make the Tigers look bad. I can't make any sense of why they did this. I'm trying to. We're trying to workshop this and talk it out, and it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't the Tigers have come up and offered $26 million? Yeah, that's a heck of a lot closer to 32, and an arbitrator might go, you know what? 26. It's a record high for a pitcher. Here you go. You got it. And they could save themselves money that they could then spend on the market, like you said, and look at it for other players, but they're not doing that. They offered 19, and they're going to have to pay 32. I think this might be a bold-ass take right now. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't think he's pitching for the Tigers for opening day.
You think they're trading?
I think he's going to get traded. I think this clearly sets the tone. They don't think he's coming back. Yeah, they'd like to have him for a World Series run, but I think this creates some animosity now between the two parties.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's why I guess I pray that you're correct, because if they can't trade him, I think they're going to have an unhappy pitcher in their clubhouse, a borderline offended pitcher who, if you give him the 32, if he asks for 32 and you give him 32, hey, man, look, I hate that this is ending, bro. But guess what? It's ending. Here's your 32. Let's go win it on your way out.
Well, and can Tarik Skubal separate his feelings for the front office from the feelings he has for A.J. Hinch and his team? I think he can. I don't know if he's going to be all that spiteful. His agent's going to be hella spiteful, and maybe for a while Tarik is as well until they start playing baseball. But at this point, I'm leaning towards the Tigers are going to trade him.
248.
And I think they should.
Well, at this point, I hope they do, because I think the options are unhappy camper with your team all season long who's probably not selling out to win a World Series versus getting something back for him now, and you're probably going to get more for him now than you will at the trade deadline. 248-539-9797. Now, I'm always open to the something that we might be missing. Is what could we be missing here that isn't, that does make this make sense? And I don't think it does. And whether that's on Scott Harris or ownership, I guess to me almost doesn't matter. I mean, it does and it doesn't. I'd like to know why they did this, because this does not feel like a results-based offer. The best result, if you don't think he's coming back here, is win the World Series with him. Then why do not do everything you can to get the best version of Skubal in your clubhouse for 2026? It's Karsch and Anderson, 97.1.